We all know that Pokemon is a global phenomenon. Whether it's the original Pokemania in the 90s, or the Pokemon Go boom in the 2010s. Its merchandising culture transcends anything that has come before. So much that it is nigh impossible to cover them all, even if we narrowed them down to a product type. Like with blind boxes. You are spoiled for choice. There are hundreds of different sets. Yeah, there's no way I'd be able to nab them all. Regardless, most top 5 or so kind of videos tend to be a little contrived anyway. And it seems sometimes the pull takes precedence over the pieces. So, today I simply want to highlight a selection of figures that are worth exploring beyond their pull. So let's slow down and check them out. Hi there, I'm Kawa the Sea Dragon, and this is Pokemon Blind Boxes Top-ish 3. Heck yeah, we're starting with Toxtricity. And like with a lot of blind boxes, he comes with some assembly required. My box did not survive shipping, but here are the online scans. So this is Neon Party by Remint. Remint actually does a ton of Pokemon's blind boxes, like 70 to 80% of them, to be honest. But yeah, this is the box art, and these are your chance figures. Pikachu and Galar Jiguzaguma? Yeah, so a lot of these are Japan exclusives, so they have their Japanese names. Gengar, Gatimiru and Mibrim. Mew, she's the same. Bracky, that's cute. And my choice figure, Strinder. He's got a couple music notes, a rod that goes into his tail hole, the other end fits onto the base, and the backdrop plugs into, well, the back. This figure is absolutely electric. You could practically hear his guitar solo. To fit his rad personality, they gave him a rad expression. Good attention to detail with the inside of his palms painted in. Very strong shapes and form. His mohawk is clean and sharp, and it matches the oscillating neon waveform that shapes into a circle that perfectly frames him in the center, with some thunderbolts for extra effect, and for contrast, toxic sludge that lines his base. Strinder was born to be in this line. The bold colors, the loud personality, it's an incredibly striking figure. I highly recommend him, and to be honest, the entire Neon Party set, because it feels less like a gimmick and more of an extension of the Pokemon's character. Now let's go the opposite direction of high energy with some serenity. This is the Bonsai Collection Wave 3. We've got, again in their Japanese names, Pikachu and Meson, Gekkouga, Rokon, Dodai-tose, Jirachi and Chirian, and Freezer. I had to get Gekkouga, aka Greninja, because frogs! He comes in 2 pieces. His tree already has his peg in place. Plug that into his back, and then press his foot into his base. Man, he really has some extremely flat feet. I remember my friend Sal once saying how funny / scary it would be if a frog just stood up and started charging you. But all you hear is the pitter-patter of its wet feet slapping the ground. Detective Pikachu really came and went, huh? Anyway, this Greninja figure is so pretty. His tree is a Japanese wisteria. They have these drooping clusters of flowers that in Japanese culture symbolizes love and affection and longevity. Get it? Long? Cause he's got a long tongue. I also like that it symbolizes love, cause, you know, kiss a frog, get a prince. I'd kiss a frog. They really nailed this one, from the choice of the tree to his pose. The detailing is impeccable. You'd be hard pressed to find something to critique without being nitpicky. Check out the texture of the Zen Garden sand, shaped in the form of rippling water. If you want something to foster an atmosphere of peace and calmness, Greninja and the Bonsai collection is the way to go. Okay, I've got one last set to share with you, and this one is my absolute favorite, the Vintage Collection. Generally with Remit, their blind boxes are all equal chances, so you have a 1 in 6 chance of getting Gekkouga, Jirachi, Boss Godera, Pikachu and Togedemaru, Surfugo, and Lucario. If I may go back to something I alluded to in the intro regarding the pull being more important than the pieces, it's definitely fun and exciting to just get a bunch of gashapons or blind boxes and open them on camera to see what you get. That's just the inevitable consumerism as a culture within a high commodity fandom. Especially with an IP like Pokémon, a behemoth of a franchise that is constantly pumping out merch. But sometimes I see something that I just want to take a closer look at because I feel like there's something more, or it resonates with me. And honestly, I can subscribe to the school of thought that more is more, and being overwhelmed with options is much more agreeable than settling from a small pool. Giving me the freedom to say, Pikachu, I choose you. But I don't. I choose Lucario. Oh, you'll be fine. Here, make yourself useful and hold this picture of my mom and dad. Now just exit stage left, just like that. Thank you. There's a very specific reason why I went with Lucario, but let's put it together and admire the scope first. He comes with a gramophone. I love all the individual parts, especially the record. He has a really tight tailhole though. If I were to make a Pokemon blind box figure tier list, this is without a shadow of a doubt S tier. The nameplate pedestal gives it an antique feel. There's articulation in the crank. The flower petal horn has the perfect amount of sheen to simulate aged brass. And then there's Lucario. Beautifully sculpted in an elegant, statuesque pose. He appears deep in thought, which is very on character for him. I wish I could find some information regarding the design choices. There just appears to be some exceptional intentionality. Regardless, the following is just conjecture. But when I look at this Lucario figure, I can't help but think of his master's voice. You may recognize this painting as it is an iconic piece of early mass media imagery. So the dog's name is Nipper. He's been featured in logos and advertising. They've made statues of him. He's in a Cyndi Lauper music video. Look, I got him in plushie form. Packaged with this mint, in-box, universal remote. I'm never going to open this, just kidding. He's cute. Okay, so, gramophone, dog. That kind of feels like a surface level comparison. But let's dive in a little deeper. The illustration came to be when the artist, Francis Barad, acquired Nipper the dog when the original owner, his brother, passed away. He had some recordings of his brother's voice, of which he played on originally a phonograph. Nipper responded to the recording, curiously and in a bittersweet kind of moment. Now, if you've seen the Pokemon movie Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, you know the tragedy that plays out between Lucario and his master. So in this vintage collection universe, where magic makes way for technology, it's easy to imagine that Lucario is most definitely listening to his master's voice. Did you notice that there were 2 dogs on some of those ads? Well, the smaller one is RCA's original character, Do Not Steal, Chipper. Anyway, and if you like deep dives on minifigures, especially blind boxes and gachapons, feel free to stick around. I am Kawa Sea Dragon, and I hope to catch you on the flip side.